Joining us on the panel, on one side we have Vrinda Grover and Kavita Krishnan. Vrinda Grover, a well-known human rights lawyer and activist. Kavita Krishnan, very well-known activist, National Secretary of the All India Progressive Women's Associations. And on the other side, Rahul Singh, senior journalist, consistently pro-Tarun Tejpal in this case. Dalip Tahil, consistently pro-Tarun Tejpal in this case. And Sanjoy Roy, who's a friend of Tarun Tejpal, who's actually been trying to paint him out to be some kind of a victim. I think all those people who are trying to project Tarun Tejpal as a victim, after the details which are mentioned in the charge sheet, and let me begin with you, Vrinda Grover, after the details which are mentioned in the charge sheet, is there any doubt about whether it was appropriate or inappropriate for Tarun Tejpal to be charged with rape? I have the charge sheet, I've read a bit about it, I've seen some of the details, and we heard Nikunj Garg. You've read it in detail. What would you say to Rahul Singh and Dalip Tahil, who have been backing Tarun Tejpal from the very start on this?
Well, I think as you've said and as your correspondent said, it's very, very clear that this is a comprehensive, thorough investigation, and they have charge-sheeted Tarun Tejpal for sexual harassment, for assault and outraging the modesty, for wrongful confinement, for wrongful restraint, for rape committed by a person in position of dominance, and rape committed by a person in position of trust or authority, which amounts to an aggravated rape. How are these charges upheld? On the basis of innumerable testimonies of witnesses who are natural witnesses. It is not just the complainant herself, the victim survivor in this case, but also persons that she told immediately at that point in time, who were at that point of time also working, and her colleagues at Tehelka. Then there is other evidence. There is CCTV footage, there is SMS, there is email from computers. So there is a host of evidence to actually support and lend credibility to every allegation that she has made, which will definitely be upheld by the trial court as the trial proceeds. So quite clearly, unlike what has been carried out, a very, very systematic vilification campaign outside the courtroom, this charge sheet will now buttress everything that the woman has said from day one consistently.
Well, would you reassess your positions, Rahul Singh and Dalip Tahil? Let me put that to both of you gentlemen before I come to Kavita Krishnan. Would you reassess your positions? You know, you called it a media trial. You refused to put the facts and material. You refused to take it seriously. Rahul Singh kept saying that this is a political conspiracy. All of this now falls flat, Mr. Rahul Singh.
I never said.
Where do you think you went wrong in this, in your approach?
I never said it was a political conspiracy.
Yes, Mr. Singh.
Sorry. And I also don't use, you use the word blindly support. I have not blindly supported. I want to make 2 points. One is, you are making a monster of this man. The trial has yet to take place. You're making a monster of him. I'd also like to say that there have been instances like that. If you want to say half the editors of this country, political, of the media, of electronic media and the print media, would be facing jail. With what? Here is a man who's accused. Here's a man who's accused of molestation, not rape.
It's not molestation. Please learn the law. This is not molestation.
I think you should take your words back.
May I update his knowledge of the law? Mr. Rahul Singh, the law was amended in this country in February 2013. Now, penetration by any part of the body against the consent of the woman amounts to rape.
Isn't that a ridiculous law?
I think, Mr. Rahul Singh, that's a very specious argument that you put here. Kavita Krishnan also, I think you should take that back by saying 50% of journalists and editors would then be accused of rape. Well, if they have done something wrong, let them be. Let them be. But Mr. Rahul Singh, don't use that argument to defend in this case.
I would say CEOs of companies could be confronted with the same situation.
Well, you know, that doesn't... First of all, Mr. Rahul Singh, the definition, I think every rapist is a monster.
No.
So for you to say that a person charged with rape like Tarun Tejpal, you're trying to make a monster out of him, the fact is the law, a charge sheet, makes a monster out of him. Kavita Krishnan also takes offense at your opening remarks. Kavita Krishnan and Rahul Singh.
You know what, I'm amazed that he should say that actually, because Rahul Singh should say that, because actually what are you saying? You're saying that men in positions of power get to, because he is not saying any man, right? He's saying CEOs and editors and so on and so forth, which means what he's saying is that men in positions of certain kind of power should be allowed to do certain kinds of things, and they can't be accused of rape. Now, I'll tell you, but I do want to say a couple of things here, Arnab. First, I'll say that, look, I'm actually very strongly against any kind of media trial. I'm actually here to say that absolutely Tarun Tejpal has a right to a defense. He has a right to have defenders. That's not my position here. My position here is, however, the reason why I've come here tonight at all right, because one could say, okay, charge sheet has been filed. Why do we need to keep talking about it? I'm coming here to say very strongly that I'm very concerned about the attacks that have been made, what Vrinda very correctly said, there's been a systematic slander campaign, and it's going to get worse after the charge sheet. It's not going to get better after the charge sheet. It's actually going to get worse.
Why
and I'm actually here to stand up. So? I'm all for a fair trial, but the point is that the fair trial is being vitiated by the systematic campaign, which is talking about, precisely because the charge sheet is so strong. Yeah. Precisely because of that, the only way to actually influence justice in this case is to make all sorts of assumptions about the complainant's character, about her demeanor after the rape, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And to do so, unfortunately, there has a systematic campaign is ongoing in this matter. What do you mean by is ongoing? Tell me more about it. There have been emails circulated with photographs of the complainant saying, look at how... I don't know the persons actually, but the content of the email is extremely inflammatory. Yeah. It's talking about her demeanor, her gait, her smile, and so on and so forth, and saying, look at this, does she look like a woman who has been raped? Who is doing this? Okay, clearly it is somebody who is acting in a manner attempting to influence the case in Tarun Tejpal's favor, creating an atmosphere. And I'm here tonight. I probably thought twice about whether one actually needs to keep coming. Yes. And I'm actually very strongly, I'll reiterate here that I really believe that on media, outside media, certainly in the courtroom, Tarun Tejpal has every right to a defense. He has every right to have defenders. That's not the problem. The problem is that if you're going to create if your defense is going to mean an intimidation campaign against the complainant, if it is going to mean asking questions, throwing red herrings, okay. Yeah. One of the red herrings has been that, footage has been destroyed. No, now the point is that that hotel, the complainant, even before she filed the complaint, had actually found out that the footage in that inside the lift in that hotel, there was no CCTV. Yeah. There was no CCTV inside. No. So to say that that CCTV footage inside the lift would have proved him right is a big risk. In fact, Kavita, the Sessions Court judge, and I appreciate the fact that you're speaking here, and let me also say this, that I have heard here very strongly, maybe Vrinda can tell us more as the discussion proceeds, that there is an attempt to certainly vilify this young girl even more. Yes. To attack her character, to question what kind of a person she is. And I think that is the moot point here. Dalip Tahil, the Sessions Court judge, I just want, while disposing of the bail plea on the part of Tejpal on January 19, said she had examined the CCTV footage and claimed that the footage did not falsify the victim's claims. The judge said that prima facie, the notes and SMSs exchanged between Tejpal and the victim supports the version of the victim and rules out the possibility of consensual acts or false implication. So the law which we all respect, the law which is not whimsical, has taken its course and gone so far. Tonight, Dalip Tahil, I think you should be asking yourself deeply, whether instead of looking at the law, instead of looking at the case objectively, there was this, I'm sorry to say, people like us response. All of us who know Tarun and friends, Tarun and influential friends, people soft on Tarun, people who knew Tarun, who dealt with Tarun, everybody. People in the literary festival circuit who knew Tarun, everybody coming together and becoming some kind of a cozy club around Tarun. So cozy a club, Dalip Tahil, that it blinded itself to the facts of this case. Therefore, when you see a charge sheet as fat as this one today,
as fat as this one, will you be willing to reassess the way you initially responded to this case as well?
Well, at the outset, Arnab, let me say this, that my stand remains unchanged, and that is because I had never said pro Tarun Tejpal or against him. All I had said at the time, 2.5 months ago, when there was no charge sheet, the complaint of the alleged victim had just about made her an official complaint, and he was tried by the media. Today, when there is a charge sheet and there's such strong evidence... Wait, let me finish.
What do you mean tried by the media?
Because none of these charge sheets had come at the time.
What do you mean tried by the media?
Well, he was. Now,
explain what you mean by tried by the media to discuss the case.
First, allow me to...
One second. You consider how elaborate the investigation has been. You cannot today blame the media for focusing on the facts. You cannot blame the media for focusing on the material.
The facts have come today.
Those material which have today become part of the charge sheet. So I think you should take that whole business of media trial back once and for all. And
please give me an opportunity to talk.
Yes, Brinda.
Please give me an opportunity to talk. Why don't you do not want to hear what the facts are? The charge sheet has come today.
Can I just make one comment?
Where were the facts before this?
I think we need to understand that these are matters of public importance,
the course of law.
And there must be a public debate on these things.
And he has to face the consequences. But at the time when you started this debate, there was no charge sheet. Today, I completely endorse the course of law.
Yes, now there is a charge sheet, Mr. Dilip. There is now a charge sheet. We are talking about the charge sheet.
I completely endorse it.
Can I just talk about... Can I just talk about the aspect of the media and the reason why I think that this needs to remain a matter of public debate in this particular case and otherwise. In other cases of sexual harassment, we have seen court ordering a media gag. And let us understand there is a power inequivalence over here between the victim and the person who is charged with the accusation. In all these cases, and particularly in the case of Tarun Tejpal, his family and a very, very wide, influential, powerful network of friends have gone systematically, diligently to every media house, electronic and print, to influential people, not only in the political circuit, in the social circuit, presenting this woman, this young woman, as being some kind of a loose moral character. So here we amend the law in 2013 and outlaw any reference to her immoral character or her past sexual history. But outside the courtroom, all that is being done round the clock by his family and friends. If the media is not going to give her space, how are we going to counter this kind of public demonization, slandering of women, which is being done as a matter of fact, and we all are aware of it?
At the outset, allow me to finish, and let me tell you one thing, that I am neither his friend nor his relative. All I'm saying is that now that there is a charge sheet with evidence and meticulously gathered evidence, I completely endorse the course of the law. At the time when I was on this panel 2.5 months ago, none of this evidence was in place in terms of a charge sheet. And that's all I'm saying. I am not against Mr. Tejpal or for him. I am pro the course of the law, Arnab. You can check your recordings. You can check the recordings of what I said. You put words in my mouth by saying that I am pro Tarun Tejpal or against Tarun Tejpal. It's not the case.
I am questioning tonight, Mr. Dalip Tahil, your initial response to the facts.
But that's what it was.
The job of the media, Mr. Tahil, with respect to you, is not to be a loudspeaker of the influential people in society. The job of the media is also to be the voice of the underdog.
I completely agree.
The person who is not privileged.
I completely agree.
And in this case, please, I think when you say the media does not do its job, what do you want the media to do?
I never said it doesn't do its job. Why do you say things that I haven't said, Arnab? I never said the media doesn't do its own job.
Do you want us to have an ostrich-like attitude? Do you want us to have an ostrich-like attitude? And as she rightly says, when there are people like Rahul Singh, for example, people like Rahul Singh, and I'll say this directly to Rahul Singh tonight, there are people like Rahul Singh who, when this case happens, instead of thinking about the trauma that girl went through, try and say that, oh, you are attacking Tehelka, the institution. Rahul Singh doesn't consider the fact at that point of time that Tarun Tejpal is accused of rape. He's only talking about the fact that by talking about Tarun Tejpal being accused of rape, you are after Tehelka, the institution. In other words, Mr. Rahul Singh is deliberately undermining the trauma that that young girl has gone through and defending what he sees as his interest. Now, unless the media amplifies and talks about the trauma this girl has gone through, people like Rahul Singh and other influential people will come there and muzzle that girl's voice. That's the brutal reality of our times. That's what the Tarun Tejpal case has gone on to prove, hasn't it, Vrinda?
Absolutely.
Isn't that the
I think this is a test case. This is a test case to the protest and the changes in law, whether it will actually now go down in practice. Post 2012, what have we asked for? Now in this case, the new law has been invoked. Please understand, this is not molestation, this is not sexual harassment. This is rape under the new law. The new law categorically says that there should be unequivocal voluntary agreement in order to constitute consent. In the charge sheet, clearly it is saying the girl is telling him to stop, not to do it. And yet he continues and persists with raping her. She says that he is a father figure, a friend of her father, somebody who is she's employed with. So all the ingredients of a coercive circumstance are made out. Here is a test case for all of us, and let us see how the court now deals with this matter.
Exactly. That's what we're saying.
And
there's a charge sheet today. I totally endorse what the court has done.
Corroborate the victim's claims and nail Tejpal's lies. This is according to the charge sheet. In any case, you know, I think Rahul Singh, you must, before I...
Since
Rahul Singh,
since you've named me a number of times, can I say
yes,
one
I did
question
name you.
in all sobriety to the panel? Here is a new law which equates molestation, sexual harassment, groping with actual rape.
No,
it
does not. Mr. Rahul Singh, I'm sorry, you cannot make wrong statements on law. It does not equate. They are separate sections with different sentences. It does not equate them. And now the Indian law is in parity with the UK law, with the South African law. There is nothing drastic. There is nothing different. Indian law has taken long time to catch up to protect the dignity and bodily integrity of women. Men need to learn to understand and respect the law.
To the other extreme. That's what we've done.
No, we have not.
We've gone from one extreme to the other extreme. Yes, we have.
No, I don't think we've gone to any extreme.
I didn't hear you say all this when the December 16th case was being discussed.
No, I think what Rahul Singh, what are you saying, Rahul Singh? What are you saying? You are basically saying, no, but what your logic is, sorry, Mr. Rahul Singh, with great respect to your seniority, I must ask you this.
Tell me what
you're saying is, I think what you're saying is, amounts to a very patronizing, highly chauvinistic, reprehensible, what's the big deal attitude.
Thank you for
That's what I think you're doing, Mr. Singh.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're saying, Mr. Singh.
All I'm saying is that we should have a sense of proportion in these matters. Here is somebody who is being accused of sexual molestation. You can send him for 10 years to life in prison. Is that fair or not?
For rape.
Is that fair or not?
For rape.
Mr. Rahul Singh, this law has been passed by the Parliament of India.
Is this rape or not?
So I'm asking you this today.
It is. It is under Indian law, under British law, under many international law.
Mr. Rahul Singh, I'm sorry, but your attitude today, where you refuse to accept that penetration of a woman against her will, is okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Rahul Singh, but I'll have to be even more direct with you. I think Mr. Rahul Singh,
it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. All I'm saying is that you don't send a man to life in prison
Mr. Rahul Singh,
for that.
Mr. Rahul Singh, I'm having to take a short break. I'm coming back. Mr. Rahul Singh, you are representing today a completely out-of-date, antediluvian point of view in today's times.
No, I don't think so.
I think you should reconsider the position that you're taking.
The law is not saying life, Mr. Rahul Singh.
In your approach here. I think
10 years to life.
I think Mr. Rahul Singh.
Well,
it says 10 years to life.
That's the court's discretion.
Arnab, I completely agree with Vrinda that any form,
I'm taking a break.
Correct.
I think any form.
I don't know, Mr. Rahul Singh. Please remember this. I'll only say one thing to you. You kept saying when you came on the news, Tehelka, Tehelka, Tehelka. This is not about one person. This is about Tehelka. Now remember, Mr. Rahul Singh, the charge against Tarun Tejpal in this case is that of rape. It serves to confirm the inaction on the part of Tehelka at the time to initiate the lodging of an FIR. To having heard the victim's complaints, the victim approached Shoma Chaudhary. Shoma Chaudhary was the managing editor of Tehelka. The Vishaka guidelines stipulated that the onus on the part of the employer is there in case the case is brought under their notice, violates parts of the Indian Penal Code. The Tehelka is responsible for violating every single part of the law. You only kept saying all the time, Tehelka, Tehelka, Tehelka. I would say tonight, I'd accuse you, Rahul Singh, before I go into the break, and I want to hear your defense of the other side, of using Tehelka as a cover to defend your friend Tarun Tejpal. I'm back on the other side of a very short break.